All right, so if you have been feeling at all discouraged in your decluttering efforts, know that you're not alone. I've heard this from many lately that I had been doing well, I lost my momentum, or I had done all this work, but now it's undone. That's the worst. So how can you get some big wins, get that momentum back, that energy, and finally get your house simplified once and for all? Because it doesn't have to take forever, but we do have to figure out how to get there more quickly. So today I'm gonna share 5 tips that will help you fly through decluttering, and they are not hard, I promise. Okay, so tip number 1, if we are gonna declutter quickly, is that you're gonna have to have a mindset shift. Because right now, if we are having a really hard time getting rid of stuff in our house, usually it's because we're putting stuff up here and our own peace of mind and time and energy down here. And so we need to flip-flop these. And I've often recommended that you actually put this on a Post-it note. And like you could just write out me and then a line and then your stuff, because you are more important than all of the stuff in your house. But your peace of mind is more important. Your time, your energy is more important than this stuff. But it gets messed up. We can't always see that clearly when we're just looking at the stuff in front of us and we're holding it up and trying to decide if we should get rid of it or not. And so we have to first and foremost have this mindset shift. And I've done a couple videos recently that I think help to support this. The 4-burner theory that we talked about last week, this idea that we can't do it all. We can't do it all well. And so something has to give, and really the stuff is the easiest thing, because we don't want to cut out our friends or family, certainly not our health, right? And so the stuff is actually the easiest stuff to get rid of and to get some of that time and energy back. So I know in the beginning it's tough, but I do hope that as you keep going, and if you do put some kind of note in front of you to remind you as you're decluttering, that it can make it go easier. Okay, I'm gonna show you an area that has completely gotten out of control in our house, and that is our homeschooling area. So tip number 2 is that if it is not a clear yes, it is a no. So as we look through this stuff, we are gonna say, is it a clear yes? And if so, I'm gonna keep it. And if I at all waver, hesitate, am not sure about it, that means it's a no. Again, we are trying to figure out how to declutter quickly. And so I did not pre-plan this. Let's just go through this real quick. Okay, John Eldridge, Take Your Life Back. This is a clear yes to me. I love this book. I'm gonna keep that. Actually, another really good book I've read lately, Breathing Through Foster Care, clear yes. This one though, I got because somebody recommended it and said it was so good. I got this 3 years ago and have never used it. So this is not a clear yes, right? Because what's gonna change in the next week or month that I'm gonna use it? So that is a no. What else is on here? Oh, see, another book. It's a beautiful book, but I've never used it. Looked at it, anything. I thought, like, A Guide to Creating a Natural Low-Waste Home. Isn't that beautiful? It's not the right season. So that's a no, and that needs to go. Now, again, quick decluttering, right? If it's not a clear yes, it's a no. This is getting kind of hard squatting down. Okay, but here's why I feel confident saying this to you, because in the beginning, I decluttered my house down to just the yeses. And we lived like that for a little while, and then I realized I wanted to go even further. And I decluttered yeses, because then at that point, they weren't like, yes, like capital yes. They were like, yeah, you know? And I realized that I wanted to go even further with simplifying to get to a point where our house was very easy to maintain. And so if I can share my experience with you, it's that if things, especially when you're in these initial stages, if they are not a clear yes, you're just gonna end up getting rid of it down the road. So why not part with it now instead of waiting for 2 or 3 other passes through your house where you finally get rid of it, right? Like this cookbook, I could say, no, I'm gonna go put it in the kitchen and I'm really gonna try and use it this week. And then what am I gonna do? In a month when I go to declutter the kitchen, I'm gonna be like, that darn cookbook, I'm still not using it, right? And then I'm gonna feel the guilt all over again. Instead, I could just say, I don't have the space right now to try new recipes, to learn new recipes, right? I am sure it is a great cookbook. I'm gonna part with it now so I don't have to declutter it down the road. So basically what you're doing by embracing this, that if it's not a clear yes, it's a no, is you're like skipping ahead 2 layers into your house. So if you wanna go slowly and take your time through each layer, that is totally okay, and I respect that completely. But if you want to move quickly for your house, then I encourage you to embrace this rule. If it is not a clear yes, it is a no. So, should we find a few other things? So, these are Corbin's next readers. He's doing so, I've been talking about him reading lately because I am so proud of him, I could cry. So these are, we need these. These are a clear yes. These are extra envelopes that these have gotten shuffled around. We do not go through this many envelopes in a year, and I have another box of them upstairs. So instead of trying to find a place for it, these are going to go. What else? This is my message Bible, but honestly, I don't ever read this. If I do want to look up the message, I always look it up on my phone. I don't go to this because I have a like an NIV Bible that I use if like just for daily stuff. And so does it feel weird getting rid of a Bible? Yeah, 1000%. I actually got this when I was in my early 20s, but it never was like my main Bible. So even though it looks really cool with like this leather cover and it's nice to hold, I don't ever use it. So it looked pretty on our shelf, but now I'm gonna pass this on because I would really like for someone to actually use it and read it. This is, I talked about it's empty. My organized house tour a little while back, and one thing I wanted to mention was that don't buy organizing containers just because they're cool. I saw these at IKEA and I like the lid and that they stack. I have 2 of them. Never used it. I need to just pass this on. I thought it would work well for the shelf. It doesn't. Again, I don't want to force things to work in my house. Like that's how things sit around and get shuffled around. It was a mistake purchase and I need to just pass it on. Okay. Well, hopefully that's enough examples from here. I am going to finish this up. So at the end of the video, I will show you how much better this looks. I need that accountability. Ooh, that leads us to our next, this is perfect. That leads us to our next step. All right, tip number 3 is to tell a friend. And if possible, get that friend to come over and help, or even FaceTime or Zoom with you. So there's something about accountability, right? If we tell somebody, hey, I wanna get a ton of decluttering done this weekend, then we kind of feel at least a little bit like we should follow through with it, right? So let somebody know, what is your goal for the weekend? My mom does this all the time and we love it. She'll take a picture of like under her sink and she'll be like, I'm going in, and she'll text it to Diana and I, and then we're like, yay, can't wait to see the after picture. And then she'll text us an after picture and we celebrate and we send emojis and we say, that's so awesome, Mom, that must feel so good to have that done. And so is there someone in your life that could help hold you accountable? It could be someone in your own household, and if possible, could they come and help? I've said this before, but even, I mean, Adeline's 11 now. She's great for accountability. She's a great helper. I know too often I've thought like, well, this is my mess. I got myself into it. I need to get myself out of it. But that's just not the truth. It happens to all of us. We were never taught, most of us were never taught how to manage this much stuff. And so it's okay. Your friends and family probably have messes too. They have clutter too. So don't be embarrassed by it. Just be brave and say, will you help me, or will you at least hold me accountable? Tip number 4 is to donate more. Now, this can be tough, especially if you're frugal or could really use the extra money, which most of us could. So where's that line between what we should sell and try and recoup some of our sunk costs, or just donate it and move on? So this is gonna be different for everyone. For us, it was $50, and I put Tom in charge of selling anything that we were gonna sell. But honestly, when I look back, well, probably because we didn't have very expensive stuff, it was really only a handful of things that we actually ended up selling, and I donated the rest. I mean, really, it had to be fairly worthwhile for me to go through it, because I had to get the stuff out of my house. And I know this can be tough if someone else in our household wants us to sell it or they want to sell it. So if there's a way to say, okay, well, we're gonna designate this spot for things that we need to sell, and when it's full and we can't keep any more stuff to sell. And so at least there's some kind of limit or container around how much it is that you're going to sell, and then set a deadline for selling it. So if we don't have this stuff listed by the end of the month, then we're just gonna donate it. But I mean, really looking back now, like I said, we donated almost everything, but we didn't have very valuable stuff. But I see how much money I save now just not making the impulse purchases, having more bandwidth, meal planning. And so I save so much money with our simplified lifestyle that also makes it easier for me to encourage you to just get rid of this stuff, trusting that you're gonna make your money back. And then tip number 5 is to create some separation. So if you have some stuff that's just really giving you a hard time, especially maybe sentimental stuff, and you just don't know, go ahead and put it in a box so that you can create a little distance from it. Often once something's been in a box and it hasn't been in our house for a while, we haven't seen it for a while, it actually does make it a little bit easier to get rid of. With this caveat, we can't do it with everything, right? So limit yourself to like how many boxes you're willing to keep. So you're gonna like quarantine them, set them away, and just see if you miss them. I mean, most of us forget what's in the box by the time it's time to go back. So put a date on it, put what's in the box, and if possible, I always like to pack up these boxes in a way that the whole thing could be donated without having to look through it again. So if at all possible, try and use cardboard boxes and make it so that the whole thing is donatable once a certain amount of time has passed. Okay, so I wanna work on this area for just a few more minutes with you. And so I have my black trash bag and my donatable donation box. And so of course, especially in an area like this, I just find a black trash bag to be the most practical, and we just, again, we don't want anybody to second guess my decisions, right? So this is just collected stuff for various reasons. You know, books, homeschooling stuff just gets thrown on here. The boys also have areas where they keep stuff, but that was because they didn't used to have an area in their bedroom, but now they do. So I'm gonna have them bring this stuff up to the room. They can keep all the treasures they want underneath their beds. So that's why we created that. And then I wanna keep this more just for homeschooling stuff so that it's simple and functional and I don't have to like search everywhere for stuff. So again, the filter that I'm using is that if it's not a clear yes, it's a no, because otherwise there's just more stuff than hours in the day, right? And so these, I have these 2 jars. They were sand we got in Texas, and I used this for like an illustration in a video, but we don't normally keep sand from places. So I have 2 of them. I'm gonna have the boys go empty these in the sandbox, and then I'm gonna donate the jars because we don't need them. So those can get out of here. We have some extra readers that we're done with, and so I'm gonna donate these and pass those on. This is like a sticker thing, and they're like almost all gone. So that's just gonna go in the garbage. This was a book I really thought, like a little journal I thought I would use, but I never use it. So I only filled out 1 page in it, so I'm gonna rip that out and then I'm gonna donate this. Another tactic from Marie Kondo is that we always group like with like. So this basket had been for markers and obviously it's not anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all the markers back in there. And then I'm gonna put a label on it too, because that's probably part of the problem. It didn't have a label on it. And there's just a lot of stuff that's just not in the right spot, so I'm gonna put that stuff back. This book we're kind of done with, so I'm just gonna donate that. This was cool. We needed a dictionary, and I was like, oh, we need to get a dictionary. But I tried to like wait and not just like go straight to Amazon. Our neighbor came over and was like, hey, do you need a dictionary by chance? I was like, yes we do. Oh, now I remember. It's too tall to stand up though, so I have to lay it down. Spider ring, I think we can be done with that. So again, in the beginning when I started decluttering my house, the question I often ask myself was, do I use this? Will I need it? But now I ask myself a different question. But can I get by without it? Because I wanna manage as little inventory as possible. So if I can get by without it, if I can get by without having to manage this jar or this 3-ring binder, then that's what I wanna do. I wanna manage as little as possible. So I can actually get through this really quickly because that's the question I'm asking. But can I get by without it? And so I was actually I did this whole shelf in 15 minutes. Again, once you get your house decluttered and organized, it's so much faster then to go back and go through it again, just make quick adjustments. All right, so again, I know this isn't always easy, but simplifying our house is still one of the most worthwhile things that we've ever done. So keep going, push through the discouragement, the tough decisions. I mean, really my favorite tip and rule is if it's not a clear yes, it's a no. And it really does get easier. So be tough on your stuff. You are worth it. And if you haven't done so already, I hope you subscribe so we can spend more time together. A thumbs up is the best compliment that you can give us. But otherwise, I hope you have a great day and I will look forward to seeing you again soon.